The third gen is here in British Racing Green. This is a 2025 Mini Countryman S All4, and it's exciting because it's longer, it's wider. You have over 8 inches of clearance, and it's sharing the same B48 engine as the Beamer, as well as the same platform. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm gonna go over some pros and cons. The problem that I have with the new design and the new Mini and some of the rivals. Going into the front, everything is full LED. It's a little bit more simplified. So the grille is really just trying to emphasize the same color as the body with a smaller grille pattern on the top portion, so it keeps a little bit more of a dynamic look. It's also going to sit a lot higher than the BMW for the front. So a little bit more of an SUV look is what Mini is going for, whereas BMW is going to be a little bit more downward, so more dynamic looking. The lower is going to get the bronze inserts, front and rear parking sensors, and we have a 360-degree reverse camera. Now we have ticked the box for a few things. This has the iconic trim, so it's around $4,000 more, but it gives you quite a few packages in which you may want to tick the box for it. Starting off with these 18-inch wheels, they'll have the bronze, the gloss black for the roof, the side view mirrors, and going into the interior, which will touch bases on the interior part of the review. Housed underneath the hood is what's special because it's the same engine as the X1, which is the B48. That's a 2.0 liter Mini twin power turbocharged. That's producing 241 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque paired to a 7-speed DCT automatic transmission. Now the MPGs is going to drop, but this is standard all-4, which is an all-wheel drive system. You're at 24 MPGs for the city, 32 MPGs for the highway. The grille pattern will carry on onto the fenders, and the lower skirt will flare with the bronze. Flush door handles, and this year the all-4 badging is now on the rear window, which can give you a bit of a blind spot, but the 0 to 60 Mini is quoting at 6.2 seconds. It's pretty fast for a longer and wider Mini, and it's also picked up more so. So when you're thinking, this is now a true SUV, before it was a little bit more small, but because they're taking all the attributes of the BMW and putting that formula into the Mini, I'm liking what I'm getting out of the package. And now going into competition, Toyota, Honda, they're going hybrid more or less, so they don't have anything that's going to be performance driven at a price that starts under $40,000 that's comparable to this. Go against Mazda. Now they do have a turbocharged engine, and it is pretty quick for the most part, but this is going to be dynamically more sound than that with the weight distribution. It actually puts itself in categories with BMW, Audi, and Mercedes, which is kind of funny because Mini is owned by BMW. Why are they making a vehicle that competes against itself, giving the same exact dynamics as their X1? And if you go into the JCW, it's going to be the same exact performance as the M35i, in which both of the Minis, whether you option this or the JCW, are going to have savings over that. I guess BMW forgot that they gave us a vehicle that's less money, but it still packs all the same performance as the BMW. Standard power tailgate. Going into 25.7 cubic feet of storage. It's going to sit up a little bit, and this also comes up here so nothing can kind of roll out. Underneath the floor opens up to a large storage pocket. You have a little storage nook with a 12-volt charger, LED interior lights, and to split fold the rear bench, you have to go inside in order to maximize the cargo to the 46.9 cubic feet. And this will fold out at a 40-20-40 split, in which it will go more or less all the way down flat. The favored trim gets these JCW seats, 12-way power seat adjustment for the driver, 8-way power seat adjustment for the passenger. The iconic trim adds the power front seats, memory seats for the driver, heated front seats. The Mini Cooper is now a complete box, so headroom and legroom. It's going to have a ton of space in the interior. It's not a driver-focused setup. You have a 9.4 OLED touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio. Here's the quick wedges. Click back here so you could go into Amazon Alexa, put it into reverse. The convenience package adds the 360-degree reverse camera, full trajectory for the front and the rear. You also have the 3D view, so you can go all around the vehicle. This also adds the navigation and the wireless charging pad. Toggle switches and to push it into park. This will just engage the vehicle and to turn on and off the sound system. Everything else is derived 100% through the infotainment. So for the climate control, you'll just click onto it. It is very sensitive, so I do like that. Digital key for the Mini. And you get a storage box that opens up to the key fob for the new Mini Countryman. More storage with USB ports and a 12-volt tucked back here. This is going to be soft to touch. It does slide forward. It does not open, so you have plenty of space for an elbow or actual armrest. With a large panel moonroof, the iconic trim adds this interior camera. The dashboard is going to have cloth inserts, and you also have a pattern on the front part. Harman Kardon upgraded sound system, and the steering wheel is going to be a lot more dynamic. I like the steering wheel sit to it. You also have the seat belt look here, multi-functionality. Unfortunately, there isn't any gauge cluster, so you have to use everything through the center screen. And the air vents will get the bronze that's going to surround it. Door panel, dash going together, and that pattern changes the configuration, so it looks a lot more sporty. One touch up and down for all the windows, and it's going to keep that sporty feel with a long storage pocket. For the back seats, the Mini has a ton of space. Leg space isn't so bad. You get some storage behind both of the front seats, USB ports, air vents, cup holders with armrests, and I like the pattern that comes into the back because they just really pay attention to detail. Full stop. The door is going to have the same materials that's found in the front, so it's going to be more everyday with a long storage pocket. It's basically the same size storage. Sliding into the center, you will share some feet space, but not a ton. The same thing with leg and butt space. Shoulder space isn't too bad. Headroom is actually doable, and it's the same exact rear as the BMW. The B48, not as playful as before, taking some of the bins. Does feel a little bit more heavy. You still have confidence in the drive. It just kind of throws you around whenever you're taking the bins in the road. Let's see if we could get that 6.2 seconds Mini is quoting. Pretty fast though. You're gonna feel a touch of lag, but once it opens up, the twin scroll turbo is ready to be engaged. So I do like that. It feels a little bit more like an SUV than a Mini Cooper in the DNA. A lot of similarities to the BMW. But it's still playful enough. It keeps some of that Mini inside, but because we don't have a gauge cluster, you have to deal with a heads-up display. You don't receive manual cushion extensions, no longer getting paddle shifts for North America unless you go JCW. There's just a few things that they have taken away from the characteristics of the Mini that just makes it a little bit more playful. I like that it is more of an SUV feel, and that's going to take me to some pros and cons. Starting off with the pros, towing capacity is good, 3,500 pounds, more power, which is awesome. It's longer, it's wider, interior space is a lot better. You can actually fit a family here, so if you're thinking, well, before I couldn't get a Mini because they're just too tight, I'm all right with the JCW seats. I just need at least manual cushion extensions. I dislike that they do not give you the same power seat adjustments for the passenger, considering I'm on the iconic trim and I paid extra for that. As for the daily use, I mean, off the line, this little thing's gonna go. It feels sporty enough. I don't think people that go into the Countryman are going to be dissatisfied because they already know that it's an SUV. I like the 9.4-inch OLED touchscreen, but I dislike how it's literally in your face. It does pay heritage to the original Minis, but man, this thing is just right there. And because the way it sits, it's almost like they kind of forgot to put something on the dash. They just wanted it so simplified. I dislike the cloth inserts that go throughout it because this will get dirty easy, and it is hard to clean it because if you start scrubbing on it, you'll either leave a mark or you'll start seeing the material come upwards. I like that the back seat is basically the same thing as the BMW. The suspension is going to be firm, similar to the BMW, so that does help with the Mini world because now you're gonna feel most of the drive, which is what Mini customers are used to. The problem that I find with the Countryman is it is all through one screen, which when I first reviewed this vehicle, when it first came to North America, I was one of few to review it first. The screen didn't work in the center. And the problem with that is you don't have a climate control. You can't tell anything for your driving mode select. You can't see anything for your reverse camera, your heated seats, your heated steering wheel. Every single thing is derived through there, which leads me to where they should give us some physical buttons underneath. I like that it's simplified, but it's just a little too much. Because when you have everything in that infotainment screen, it kind of takes away from the drive a little bit. As for rivals, it's hard to really say anyone can compete with it at the price that Mini is at, because Toyota and Honda don't have anything that's performance driven to compete with this. And even technology, this is a little bit more superior. Turn radius at a stop point, about 2 lanes. Let's rock and roll. It can be playful once you get through that lag, which when we get the JCW, I'm hoping it will be a little bit more seamless because you're getting 312 horsepower. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like, and I'd like to thank Mini of Wesley Chapel for giving us this 2025 Mini Countryman S All4 for our car review.